Two things: HIV infection and AIDS. From the time of entry into the body, the HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus, reduces the body immunity, and finally, the stage 3 becomes AIDS, that is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. As the name suggests, it is not a single disease, it is a syndrome where you have a lot of the opportunistic infections and simple diseases to major diseases creeping into the unfortunate person, and finally the patient dies of these infections. Two things are involved in this. One is pregnancy and childbirth, and another thing is again the social issues. So, how will it be to a person if I say that he is HIV positive? So, most of the people are educated and they know what is HIV. So, the moment the his status is being cracked, he will be mentally upset or deranged. So, when the society comes to know about this, there will be discrimination and marginalization of this person and the family including wife, kids, parents, everything. We have seen kids being thrown out of the school. They became they being HIV positives, their parents being HIV positives, and again to some extent, such people are also criminalized by our society. So mentally, psychologically, socially, economically, they are marginalized and financially also marginalized. The risk here is when the person is financially marginalized, the way of survival for them finally will be the risk behavior. So again, society is a danger. They have to survive. The family has to survive. For that, they need money. So, what is the way when you don't let them mingle with the society? Okay. And regarding the two HIV positive people's getting married and having kids, two HIV people can marry. There are different strains of HIV. So, it is always advisable to use all the protection throughout their physical contact so that drug resistance won't develop between the strains. So, when a HIV positive or a PLHIV becomes pregnant, during pregnancy, during childbirth, during breastfeeding, it is easy to get vertical transmission. That is from mother to child transmission. So, when a PLHIV becomes antenatal, that is pregnant, that time onwards, we are supposed to give antiretroviral therapy so that a child will be protected from this. Unprotected sexual behavior is one of the main thing, and unfortunately they believe that is the only thing that transmits the disease. Of course, unprotected sex with multiple partners, with uh, sex workers, then we have MSM activities, that is men having sex with men. Then again we have intravenous drug users. So these are the main things which come into play when we talk about HIV transmission. One more group we can say are the pseudo sex workers. Even that is a risk factor when it comes to transmission of the disease. We have identified another group called pseudo sex workers, where these people are not really into full sex work. They can be students, they can be housewives, they can be other professionals, they can be businessmen, whoever might in need of money on in a very needy situation might get indulged into a sex work and they get money. So such people are at risk and they do risk their family also. So these people or such people should be traced out and they should be tested for HIV, and society, especially women empowerment units, all these things should educate women of low socioeconomic strata or women, the complete society itself, that such things can endanger others also, themselves and others also. Well, in India, anyone can go and buy needles and syringes without a prescription also, starting from injecting their pets to bedridden patients for other purposes. Everything. People can buy the needles, buy the syringes in India. No one is going to harm. But as you rightly said, for the easiness of using or use of the drugs, our IDUs, that is intravenous drug users, use the same needle and syringe. It is very unfortunate. We have target intervention groups in Kerala who work among these IDU workers and IDU people. And these people, what they do in their project is they give them the syringes and needles, and they will have to return it in a very short period of time so that we can assure that these people are using those syringes and needles only once. At least thereby we can arrest the transmission of the disease among themselves, among the ID users. Or we don't see people, homosexual people, as homosexuals. So we don't know the numbers. So whoever is being brought before the medical officer, when they test, they become they are shown positive. Most of them are not brought in front of us for testing. So whoever is brought, they are positive. When a homosexual person had sex with another man, the injuries caused are more than the heterosexual intercourse, that is the vaginal intercourse, and through a lacerated or injured epithelium, virus can easily travel. And such people are more secretive about their character and they have multiple partners also. So that is the scene why a disproportionately high number of MSMs have the disease. There is marginalization, discrimination, and to some extent criminalization also is there. So the society discriminates them. What happens here is the affected person is reluctant to go to seek medical assistance. As you know, just like any other disease, the earlier the best, they should start the treatment. In this situation, They are scared to go, scared of the society, go to the ART center where they get the infection. Anyone seen going to the ART center, they consider as a man with, or a lady with, or a person with loose moral, uh, got the curse from the god for their impure act. In such a situation, of course, we have to, I mean, what I meant is the society will have to change their mentality towards such people. Just like any other disease, these are also people who need treatment for a quality of life. Of course, the disease cannot be stopped or arrested, but they can lead a normal life with a regular medication. Regarding the medical help, yes, we have counselors in the ART center, and even with great difficulty, when a person comes for HIV testing, we have a pre and post test counseling where they will be properly counseled. And even after the in the post test counseling, even after the test, if it is positive, we counsel them. If it is negative, also we counsel them. Again, if he needs treatment, when he goes to the ART center for treatment, there will be a counselor, a senior person, who will counsel this unfortunate individual. And again, the medical officer, when they come to him for the treatment, counsel them and then give them the appropriate medication. So in this way, we are handling the cases and we are getting good results also. So this year's theme of World AIDS Day, which falls on 1st of December, resilience and impact, answers this. Women and girls are more affected, yes, because of the myths, because of the risk behaviors they get into, which they are not responsible for. All these things, if you take out dailies, we can see crime against women and girls, maybe like those people who offend are women and girls, there might be positives, and without all these things, these people also get that. And regarding the drug users, we have a separate program for drug users, whether it be a lady or a male, where we promote them to come out with their status. And as I said, whenever a person is involved in risk behavior, whether it is male, female, a transgender, we always promote them to know their status often. So government has its own machinery run by National AIDS Control Organization, now in Kerala by KESAX. A lot of volunteers working among these people to trace them and to bring them to our system and help them out. Yeah. From being a person in the society, the first thing is to go away the stigma to the HIV community. So, unfortunate people are very much scared of stigmatization, criminalization, I said, and marginalization by the community. Once you stop that, the people will come forward for the treatment. Again, we should promote the society for treatment. I mean, this society for treatment. See, whenever a person is having a physical contact or planning to have a physical contact with his or her partner, always there should be a healthy discussion among themselves as to their active sexual life, their sexual history, so that they can assess whether their partner or counterpart is having the risk of having STIs or HIV infection. And one more thing I would like to mention here is, if the person is sexually very active, whether it is a male or female, it is always better for them to know their status. We have a lot of ICTC centers in Ernakulam. At GH we have one center, at District Hospital Alva we have other center, in almost all the taluk hospitals we have centers, and all the other hospitals we have facilitated ICTC centers. So we can approach any of these institutions and get these testings done. Yes, condoms are the best method to prevent AIDS. When you speak of AIDS, it's something different. Condoms are the best methods to prevent the HIV infection. Other contraceptive methods are least helpful in preventing the transmission of HIV infection, like oral contraceptive pills and other methods. So actually that is a myth, that other contraception methods do help in preventing AIDS. The best thing, we can underline it, is the use of condoms. This class of key population, I would say key population, where risk is involved, we have a lot of projects to tackle the members of this community. They have their own associations, groups, the leaders of which we are in constant touch with, and they are routinely and regularly screened. Each member of the community is screened for the disease infection, and they are given methods of protection, including barrier methods, prophylactic drugs to save them from the disease. If get infected, they are also brought for medical help at the earliest. So National AIDS Control Program is intended to reduce the burden of HIV in our country, and presently the load has come down because of active interventions. On top of that, now the UNAIDS has planned to bring down drastically the HIV burden by the year 2030. For this, Mission 90-90-90 has been rolled out and is active. So what does that Mission 90-90-90 means? So people with risk behavior or at risk, 90% of them should know their HIV status. 90% of the diagnosed people should take the treatment, and 90% of them should reduce the viral load. So this is what 90-90-90 means. Well, that question is very positive, and answer should also be very positive. We are all trying hard to see an endemic, end for that endemic.